The chapter begins by updating us on the life of Alex Summers, also known as Havok. The truth is, he's not doing well at all after his breakup with Polaris. He even calls her and leaves a sad message on her voicemail, admitting that she was right about him joining X-Factor. He just wanted to be part of something because he's lost so much in his life: his family, Krakoa, and of course Polaris herself. He then says goodbye to her once again and receives an unexpected visit from Frenzy, a mutant with a range of superhuman physical abilities. She jokes that he's still feeling sorry for himself and reveals why she's there. The mutant underground reached out to her, and they also need Alex's help. And since he has nothing left to lose, Alex accepts the offer and changes his life once again. Now we jump to San Francisco Bay, where Warren Washington III, also known as Angel, orders the X-Men to hand over Charles Xavier to the custody of the new X-Factor on behalf of the U.S. government. The biggest problem here is that Angel wants to take Charles back to Grey Malkin prison, and as we saw in the previous chapters, the X-Men promised Storm that he would never return to that mutant-hating death trap. Hank tries to defuse the situation, claiming that they all want the same thing, but Angel knows that's not true. Beast even mentions that he thought Angel was dead, but in reality, he spent a few weeks recovering in a hospital, which is odd since Angel has a powerful healing factor and shouldn't have needed any of that. Either way, since they've reached a stalemate, a massive fight breaks out between the two teams: X-Men versus X-Factor. Juggernaut charges at the leader of X-Factor, who of course flies out of his reach, leaving a young recruit named Zyber to take the hit instead. After running over the rookie, Kane Marco leaps, grabs Angel's leg, and slams him violently into the ground, while Beast desperately tries to convince everyone to stop fighting before things spiral out of control, but to no avail. One of X-Factor's members, known as Pyro, also tries to fight for his leader, but he's easily neutralized by temper. Another member of the team is Granny Smite, an elderly woman whose power is immortality, so Beast quickly points out that unless someone tries to kill her, she's completely useless. The rookie who got knocked down has the ability to emit an electromagnetic pulse that disables electronic devices. Beast is actually relieved that the guy didn't activate his powers, or else he would have lost all the photos on his phone. But beyond that, his abilities wouldn't have affected the X-Men at all. At this point, it's clear that this new X-Factor team is extremely weak. Beast even calls Angel arrogant for thinking he could defeat the X-Men with this lineup of rookies. However, this is when the winged mutant reveals the real reason he spent so much time in the hospital. Besides recovering, he also underwent several surgeries that transformed him into a new kind of cybernetic angel, reclaiming the name Archangel. And things get real when he uses an energy sword to attack Juggernaut, leaving everyone stunned. On top of that, he uses his wings to transform into a massive metal sphere with two razor-sharp blades made from his wings and starts chasing Beast, who runs for his life to avoid being hit. Fortunately, Magic has a plan. She creates one of her signature portals and asks Beast to lure Archangel toward it. But surprisingly, Illyana ends up being pushed into her own portal by yet another X-Factor rookie who had gone completely unnoticed until now. His name is Forget-Me-Not, and as his name suggests, his power is that no one remembers him. Even his own X-Factor teammates had already forgotten about him. But with so much happening at once, Psylocke also decides to put an end to this battle between the teams, because while they were busy fighting each other, Professor Xavier simply vanished. Then the scene cuts to another part of the island, where it's revealed that Charles Xavier is being taken away by Havok and Frenzy, connecting us back to the beginning of the chapter. At first, Frenzy had said she was doing this under orders from the mutant underground, but now that they're on the run, she reveals that this isn't true. In reality, she was sent by none other than Charles Xavier himself. Yes, Charles asked for her help to escape from the custody of both the X-Men and the government. And because he means so much to her, she couldn't say no. and she even dragged Havok into this mess. At that moment, Charles finally wakes up and is happy to see Frenzy by his side, though she wants to know why he wanted them to come here. But before the professor can answer, Frenzy is suddenly hit by a massive energy blast, coming directly from the eyes of Scott Summers, the formidable leader of the X-Men. Yes, Cyclops appears before his brother and assures him that Frenzy will be fine. He also tells Alex not to get involved, because brother or not, this is something he needs to do. He's here for the professor and insists that Alex stay out of his way. However, Alex says it's already too late for that, and when he suggests a truce between brothers, since their powers don't work on each other, Scott also says it's too late. And so the battle begins. Cyclops fires a blast at the ground, kicking up dust and blocking Alex's vision, then charges at him, landing a punch to his face and pinning him down. Alex doesn't understand why Scott has so much hatred for a man who was practically a father to him, to which Scott responds that Charles is dangerous. His telepathy is out of control, and he's destroying lives, just like he destroyed Scott's when he slaughtered multiple humans during the Fall of X storyline. Cyclops then unleashes a flurry of punches on his brother, demanding to know why Alex even cares, since he abandoned the X-Men too. That's when Alex manages to shove Scott off and goes on the offensive, saying that he betrayed everyone he ever loved, thinking he was doing the right thing, only to end up with nothing, abandoned by everyone. But this old sibling rivalry comes to an end when Scott blasts the rocks above them, causing a landslide that incapacitates his brother. Now, alone with Charles once again, he demands to know why Xavier brought them here. The professor, barely able to move, says it's because he wanted to show them all, Scott included, something important. In previous chapters, Xavier told Storm that he wanted to bring back the magic of resurrection, and it turns out he wasn't kidding, because the professor reveals the last remaining mutant resurrection egg. Charles tells Scott that he knows he's lost hope, but hope has never given up on him, just like Charles never has. Cyclops is left speechless as he stares at the last Krakoan resurrection egg. The current leader of the X-Men wants to know how this is possible and who is inside it. But before he can process it all, he regains his focus and insists that, despite everything, Professor X must still come with the X-Men. However, at that moment, another shocking twist unfolds. Out of nowhere, Cyclops is brutally attacked from behind by a mysterious newcomer who grabs Professor X, thanks Cyclops for his help, and vanishes with both Charles and the resurrection egg. In the end, all that remains is a defeated and heartbroken Scott Summers, who, once again, is left without hope. And so, both the X-Men and X-Factor are left with no answers, only more questions. Who is really behind the kidnapping of Charles Xavier? And who is inside the last resurrection egg? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like because it helps me out a lot. And drop a comment below telling me what you think about this saga. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.